Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy Menkhaus. I am an instructor of theology at Gilmour Academy in Cleveland, Ohio, and an adjunct lecturer in the theology department at Carroll University. I'm joined in this presentation by Rich Clark and Ann McGinnness, also at Carroll University, and Vanessa Rotondo at Fordham University. And the title of our presentation today is Comparing the Effects of Immersion Experiences on Faculty and Staff Across the Jesuit Network. Our study today grew out of a previous study that we had at the Seattle University Jesuits Justice in Higher Education Conference a few years ago that looked at the transformative effects on alumni of immersion experiences. And so in this study, we wanted to try to gauge whether or not immersion experiences at our universities were having a positive effect on our faculty and staff accompaniers. So these trips are often gauged toward undergraduate or graduate students, and we were curious how the side effects, the experiences of being an accompanier or chaperone, whatever the word is used at your university, whether or not that alone was having a similar transformative effect on perhaps the moral, the intellectual, or the spiritual development of our faculty and staff. Because as at many of these schools, the development of faculty and staff is also a very important component of a university. And so we were curious in what ways immersion programs played into and allowed that to happen. In order to do this study, we began interviewing about a year ago. We created an interview that was approximately 45 minutes to an hour long, and the interviews were completed over either Zoom or in person, depending on, certainly the COVID pandemic moved many things to Zoom, but we wanted to do an interview that wasn't an internet survey so that we would be able to talk to people and really help unpack some of the answers that they gave to some of the questions that we asked. And so across around 10 to 12 months or so, we conducted 104 interviews out of a sample set of 169 people who had done an immersion experience as a faculty or staff accompanier at Carroll University from the years 2004 to 2020. We wanted to do a longer study in terms of the amount of years to also gauge if people who had done an immersion 10, 15 years prior were still talking about the effects of the immersion in a positive way. Some of the components that we were looking at for staff, for example, specifically, would be, did the immersion experience participation increase the way you understand presence to students in whatever role it is that you have at the university? Or did it make you more welcoming or desire to get to know students in a different way? We had staff members participate in all aspects of the university in a variety of places, some of whom rarely get an opportunity to see students. And so we again wanted to check in, did this experience allow you to be more present to students in your role at the university? And did it help you to have a deeper understanding of the university mission? In terms of the faculty, we asked similar questions, but also conducted an aspect of the interview that had to do with teaching and service to the university as well as publishing, trying to see, did the experience of going on an immersion in some way increase your publishing or alter your research agenda, or allow you to be have a greater understanding of how to give service to the university, or did it change the way you teach or the things that you teach in the classroom? So all of these were important aspects of what it is that we were trying to do. We only have a few moments, so I just want to offer just a couple of preliminary aspects of this research. I will say that Vanessa at Fordham recently began her surveys, and so we're about 15 people in, which isn't a strong basis to make a comparison to the 104 Carroll examples to the 15. But so far, we have found very similar comments in terms of the transformative effects in a positive way at Fordham. We will also be soon beginning the study at Gonzaga University, and there's another university that's also in communication with us about continuing the study there. So quick plug, if you're interested in doing a survey of faculty and staff who have accompanied undergraduate immersions, we would love to talk to you and add you to our study. So just a few comments quickly in terms of faculty, some of the things that we have noticed. 45% of faculty responded that their immersion experience had a positive influence in the way they're teaching. And 84% of the faculty felt the immersion experience that they were on made a sustained, substantial, and positive difference in the way students think, feel, or act in their classroom. In terms of service, 42% of faculty reported their immersion experience affected their service work. In terms of staff, the overwhelming majority of people on a scale of 1 to 5 rated 4 or 5, as in 5 being the most and 1 being the least, that immersion participation had increased their spiritual development, their intellectual development, and their moral development. And so the figures are overwhelming thus far in our analysis that these programs have a positive impact, positive effect on our faculty and staff. We look forward to hearing from you, and thank you for coming to our presentation.